morning, Mark Soderberg with ADM Investor Services with your morning ag outlook for Tuesday, June 3rd. Well, mostly higher trade here as we approach the pause. Mixed trade overnight, but we are starting to firm up. Wheat has been mostly lowered on the better than expected crop ratings. However, as we near the pause, Chicago's up a penny, still down 2 to 3 in Kansas City, 5 or 6 in Minneapolis. Corn prices now up 1 to 2, soybeans up 3 to 6, led by old crop. A little higher in the meal while mixed in the bean oil. A lot of data out after yesterday's close. I don't think any of it was too far out of the realm of expectations. The census crush at 202 million bushels in line with expectations. Year to date, we're up almost 6%. That's consistent with the USDA forecast. I see no change from the USDA in next week's WASDE report. Oil stocks did fall 5% in April, down to 1.976 billion pounds. That was below expectations. That was also down 14.5% from April a year ago. Corn used in the production for ethanol production in April at nearly 426 million bushels. That was the highest in 6 years for the month. However, that was at the low end of expectations and down 6% from March. Year-to-date usage is up nearly 1% from a year ago, also in line with USDA. There too, no change expected. No major changes in yesterday's USDA crop updates. Corn planting's 93%. That matches the 5-year average and just ahead of the year-ago pace. Planting's pretty much wrapping up in the western corn belt, while some minor delays or some delays still in the east. Biggest delays in the state of Ohio, where 72% of the crop has been planted. That trails the 5-year average of 87%. There's just over 900,000 acres left to plant in the state. Corn ratings, they improved 1% to 69%, good to excellent. That was in line with expectations and remained just below the historical average for early June. Perhaps the biggest surprise, or only surprise in yesterday's crop condition reports, was in the wheat. Winter wheat conditions, they improved 2% to 52%, good to excellent. Expectation was for no change. I'm showing ratings now the highest at this stage of the growing season since 2019. Biggest increase was in Oklahoma, up 9%. Colorado, Nebraska, and Texas all improved 4%, while Kansas was up 3% of the winter crop has now been harvested. Spring wheat plantings hitting the home stretch here, 95%. Conditions here also improved, up 5% to 50%, good to excellent at the high end of expectations. Despite the improvement, however, conditions are still the lowest, second lowest in the past decade for the spring wheat. U.S. weather, mostly crop friendly, perhaps a little too much rain in the some areas here in the southeastern plains. Also, the southern Midwest will slow the wheat harvest, while also raising some potential disease pressures. We'll see if we get any sort of confirmation that President Trump and Chinese leader Yi will speak anytime soon, as the White House has suggested here in recent days. July corn has bounced now after falling to its lowest level since October. Growing supply pressure in South America has weighed on basis levels down there, particularly in Argentina. Speculators, they've been piling up on the short side. We've got that money manager short position now back out to about 130,000 contracts, and that would be the largest since late last summer. D's corn also traded to just below its May low, however, no follow through, leading to a little bit of a bounce. Inside trade for July beans and meal overnight. Bean oil opened higher on the tighter than expected stocks, however failed to get above its 100-day moving average. And in wheat, very little change in open interest yesterday, up a couple thousand contracts in Kansas City, while steady in Chicago. So thank you for listening, everyone. I hope you have a great Tuesday.